Okay, Coach, historic Lambeau Field. Fittingly, it butts up against Lombardi Avenue here in the heart of Green Bay, Wisconsin. No team means more to a city than the Packers to Green Bay, and this was the scene a few moments ago as the green and gold made their way out of the historic tunnel. They're ready to go as they get set to match up with Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. Fall is in the air, and the NFL season is in full swing, and we're underway here in Week 4. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
Get ready, get ready, get ready.
And right away, whistles and a flag down. And I believe we'll start the night with a 1st and 15. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. A run with Lindsey out of the gun. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
Well, obviously, they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead, now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now.
Mike. 319. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. Check. Left.
On 2nd down, a run with Lindsey. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7.
Jump out! Mike 52. Mike 52. We don't want this. Check. Check the 50.
Here's Rodgers. And he'll find Washington. That's complete. 11 yards and a Green Bay Packer 1st down.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand.
Blitz coming, and down he goes. Derek Barnett able to maneuver in for the sack.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. They'll run here with Lindsey. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Fletcher Cox there for the tackle.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. So they can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
On 3rd and long, it's Rodgers. But it's brought in by Washington. 20, 10, touchdown, Packers. James Washington, his first touchdown on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. With these Thursday night games, sometimes you get those quick turnarounds. You wonder how a team's going to start. They started really well.
Everyone's always wondering, going into a Thursday night game, who has their legs, who has the overall health of a team. But mentally, if you get that early edge, the other team might think to itself, it's been a short week. We're not really ready to go. You might run them into the ground that way. That's why getting that early score means a lot.
Wentz and the Eagles now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line.
74. Alpha. 56. Check. 56 to Mike.
Now a two-time 1,000-yard rusher for the Bears. This is Jordan Howard. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Here's Wentz to throw. Looking deep for his tight end, Ertz. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. Charles, already trailing by touchdown early. This offense, how imperative is it for them to get points out of this drive?
Well, they feel like they have to go ahead and match because of what was already on the board against their defense. But I think even more so, you just want to avoid 3 and outs. You want to be able to stay on the field for a little while, let your defense catch their breath a little bit, even if you don't score any points.
On 3rd down, this is Howard. And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. He punted 4 times in the loss last week as he gets this one away here.
The Packers take over 1st down 10 at their own 13-yard line.
About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. Now they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
The drive starting with a 1st down, 11 yards on that pickup.
1st and 10 at the 24-yard line.
You get block me.
Now Rodgers on the bootleg. They'll roll him out right. On the run, he'll let it go deep, right sideline. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. 2nd down.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their 1st drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're 1 to the good. Go ahead and try and press your advantage.
On 2nd down now, it's Lindsey. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
The Eagles call on the extra defensive back here as they prepare for a stop on 3rd down. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Lindsey. And a good job defensively. They stop him short of the 1st at the 32.
Obviously, they didn't get everything they wanted on that completion, but they put themselves in a spot where you've got to at least think about going for it. I know where we are on the field, but still, you've got to think about it, don't you?
And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Rashawn Gary brings him down, and that's a play he's going to remember. The first sack of his NFL career. Eagles coming up here on a 3rd and long, so Wentz and company with some work to do after the sack.
Hey. 24 is the mic. Kill. 24 is the mic. 65.
From the gun, it's Wentz. And that is incomplete.
I think the punter might start to get into a pretty good rhythm here if he keeps getting opportunities. But that's the last thing his team wants to have happen, right? The last thing you want to see is your punter feeling pretty good because he's out there all the time.
Yeah, first quarter only, but they're 0 for 2 on third down conversions to start this thing. And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. Returnable here for Davis. And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out first and 10. The drive starts with a completion left side. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Now Rodgers got an open man. It's Valdez-Scantling.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
No room to be had there on the first down run as he's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Throwing on second down. Rodgers. He gets this to Devontae Adams. And they'll wind up getting this to the 37. Gain of 9. They'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down.
We got 4.
They'll try and run for it with Lindsey. And he's going to have the first down yardage to the 35.
They had yet to run the ball at all on this drive, but 3rd and short definitely was a great time to dial one up.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Check nickel.
On first down, right back to Lindsey. A good run there on first down, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 2.
That's a strong pickup right there on first down, and as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Eight yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Here's a give to Lindsey running right. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
To throw is Rodgers. Over the middle, complete. It's Lindsey. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. A good-looking drive for the Packers so far. It's a first down.
First and 10 at the 11-yard line.
Rodgers will bring him up to the line, 1st and 10. And he's 4 for 4 now, throwing the ball to start the drive. Throwing now is Rodgers. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. Now the extra point try forthcoming. good to make it 14-0.
That's the score. Packers 14, Eagles nothing.
Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep.
The Eagles take over
Let's go,
first and
let's
10
go, let's go.
at their own 25-yard line.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Now it's the all-purpose back. This is Darren Sproles. And this Green Bay defense making that play look a lot like the previous one. Both tackles behind the line of scrimmage. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
Go, go.
From the gun on 3rd down, Wentz. Aguilar has it. Powering his, look at this, middle of the field, a breakaway. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Nelson Aguilar, his first touchdown on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. Elliott good with a PAT, and that'll make our score 14-7.
Packers 14, Eagles 7. Jake Elliott set to kick off.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
Let's go.
At their own 19-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Rodgers throwing the out route and complete. That's Adams. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. 11 yards there, first down.
First down. First and 10 at the 32-yard line.
Rodgers now nearly perfect. 9 of 10 in this first half. It's 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 more there and another first down. Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
On first down, Rodgers. The left side throw complete to Adams. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up second.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. We've hit the 2-minute mark in the second quarter. 14-7. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Adams hauling it in from Rodgers. And he has another first down as they'll get the ball down to the Eagles' 34-yard line.
I like that one, partner. They go back-to-back with excellent gains, and really it shouldn't be a surprise who they were throwing the ball to. He's their best guy.
Yeah, we knew that they would get him involved early. They're doubling down on getting him involved early.
Don't be surprised if they'll come right back to him again. They haven't shown the propensity to be able to stop him.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Great coverage there all around. Really didn't have many options to throw the football.
Very little chance that that one was going to be completed. Every receiver was locked up.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. They'll run the toss. It's Lindsey. And a lot of talent on this Eagle defense, and you've seen it on these last 2 plays, both losses. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
Green 18. 53. Here we go. Number 50. Hey, you block over here. 53.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Fletcher Cox able to record his 5th sack of the season. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. Here's J.K. Scott now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time.
The Eagles take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. Inside of a minute left in the half. Does the fact that you're down on the scoreboard influence what you do, or I guess don't do on this final drive?
It certainly does, but what influences me even more is who I've got running my football team out on the field and the weapons around him. Can he make a play? Can he get into someone that we're going to trust to take care of the ball? If that's the case, I might push it a little bit here and try and get something before the half runs out.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
The Eagles on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. Shotgun now for Wentz. And Jeffrey's got it. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Now Wentz again. And nearly picked off. Surprising to see a defender of his caliber let it get away, but it does get away and it's second down. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
46 down, man, 5-4.
A final shot before half for Wentz. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick. And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. So we have reached halftime with a touchdown. That's the difference on the scoreboard. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3.
Keep playing hard.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Wentz going to throw. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. 16 yards, a first down.
A gain of 16 yards.
Almost not fair. The big guy running the corner route, being able to lean and push and get to where he wants.
So how do you stop it?
A lot of times you want to have a linebacker on him, a bigger body guy who can handle him physically. But a lot of times that doesn't work as well because his quickness often wins the route.
And this will be taken across midfield and into Green Bay territory.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
This is Howard on 2nd down. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
And it's 3rd down.
Pac-Man. Ready?
Now Wentz on 3rd down. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Zadarius Smith gets in there to drop him for a loss of 13 yards, and it's also 4th down now. On is the punt team now as this one's sent away.
The Packers take over 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
About set to get this drive started, the Green Bay offense at the line. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Here's Rodgers. Going to throw again. And Austin Seferian-Jenkins has it. He's at the 40. Past the 20. And he is taken down deep in Philadelphia territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 69 yards.
And the Packers first down. First and 10 at the 13-yard line.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Now it's Lindsey. And strong running there as he's inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
Let's go, D. Big series right here. We got to step it up.
Second and 5 now. Rodgers. That's complete right around the 8. And he'll get nothing out of that one. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be third down. Now the old pass completion for no gain, not something you want to call up out of the playbook too often.
Yeah, most offensive coordinators don't have that on their play sheet, so they've got to go back and scramble after this one. But right now, with what they're telling receivers about making sure you take care of the ball in open field, sometimes the fighting for extra yardage doesn't come as a result. That and good tackling can lead to no yards gained.
From the gun on third down, Rodgers. Flushed out right. Got a man open. It's Adams. Touchdown, Green Bay. Davante Adams. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now 21-7. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Eagles take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Nice way to start the drive. A gain of 12 and a first down.
First down, Eagles.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on first and 10. They'll run from the pistol with Howard. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
But if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they got to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
Here we go. 280. 24's on the move. 24's on the move.
On second and 11 now. Wentz. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. Third down.
In the early days of the NFL, you could easily blame these drops on maybe some uneven or uncertain lighting in a stadium. Not anymore. The lights are pretty good.
Yeah, they're great here at night, but his second drop, indeed, not a good look. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
Hey, wahoo!
Working from the gun, Wentz. And he can't quite intercept it. Zone coverage, free safety was there. Couldn't come up with it, and now it's 4th down. Had to pass there, 3rd and long on your own side of the field. Just couldn't come up with anything.
That's why teams always talk about having to win the early downs, meaning you've got to gain yardage and set yourself up for 3rd and short, because when it's 3rd and long, the odds go down significantly trying to pick up the first down, even throwing the football.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drop.
And now off to the races, down the right side. Touchdown, Packers. Philip Lindsay, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
The Eagles offense set to begin their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
56. Mike, smooth. 56. Exit. 56, the mark, boys. 56.
They run with Howard. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves them with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
Great 57. 56 to Mike. Hey, exit. Here we go. Mike 56. Mike 56. Let's pick it up.
On 2nd down, it's Howard. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
Hey, Charlie. 56. Mike 56. Right.
To throw is Wentz. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Looks like another empty possession here, partner, and I don't think with 3 scores down in the 3rd quarter, they can truly afford any more the rest of the way.
No, especially the way their offense is sputtering. I think you're exactly right. They got to find some answers quickly. Here's Cameron Johnston now. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. 1 quarter remains here in this Thursday night matchup. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. They're already slim hopes are going to ride on this one. They'll go on 4th down.
82. Tyson. 35. Watch twist.
The Eagles indeed snap it. Wentz. And a big loss here as he's taken down. The sack by Harold Landry, the former Boston College Eagle. Well, at this stage of the game in the 2nd half, down 3 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to push.
And let's face it, with this deficit, if they give up another score here after they didn't get it, does it really matter?
Right.
It really doesn't. They had to go and try and make something happen if they had any chance of winning this game.
And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. Finally, defensively, they have a little clip to show positive for actually stopping him running the football.
It's been a really long night for them, hasn't it? So they got a little bit of a win there, but let's face it, the vision that he's had running the football has carried his feet to the open spaces and to big yardage all night long.
Hey, take 26.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Rodgers. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Derek Barnett, his second sack of the night. Well, it was second long. Now it's third and even longer. They're going in the wrong direction here.
Because they're moving them exactly the way they want to, but you're exactly right. Definitely going in the wrong direction for the offensive guys.
Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long.
26. 53 to Mike. Five. Check.
From the gun, it's Rodgers. And it's complete. He gets this one to Washington. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 14 yards, but they're still well shy of a first as that leads to 4th down. So now the Packers turn things over to the special teams crew. They're on for the field goal try. From the left hash, this from 39. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that will extend the lead out to 24. So no problems at all on that one. And you know, there's virtually no win. This is a kicker's dream here tonight.
It absolutely is, isn't it? So to me, with no wind, it should be a passer's dream as well, right? But in this case, the defense held out. They had to force the field goal.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Wentz. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Harold Landry able to drop him that time for his second sack of the evening.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. After the sack on 1st down, Wentz. And that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
24 is the marker. Check. 24 is the mic.
On 3rd and long, it's Wentz. He's going to let this go deep for Jackson. And that'll be incomplete. Well, they took their shot all right, but it comes up empty, and it's 4th down. Well, this secondary has done such a good job of frustrating these receivers tonight. Another example right there on the deep ball.
Sometimes when the sun goes down and it's just the bright lights in the stadium, puts a little extra spring in their step, doesn't it? And that's what we're seeing from the defenders. Doesn't matter whether it's man or zone, deep ball, short ball. And that was a deep one there. They're making plays on the football, contesting everything.
Here's Cameron Johnston now. He's been terrific so far. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. Davis now to return it. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. About set to get this drive started. The Green Bay offense at the line. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
258. Mike, number 53. Mike, 53. Here we go.
A give, running right, Lindsey. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a 1st down.
It's always been funny to me, Brandon, when coaches always talk about on hot days like the one we have here. Well, it's hot for both teams. But when one team has the advantage, when one team is running the ball really well and closing things out, it's hotter for the defensive side, and they sag a lot quicker.
Yeah, they say the dog days of August, the heat we're seeing here today, dog days of September, and the advantage right now on the offensive side. 11 yards and a Green Bay Packer 1st down.
As many games as the two of us do, I would hope that one day we'll be able to solve this riddle. Why is it on a hot day that one team has more trouble with the heat than another, and especially when you can't stop a guy running the ball?
You know it's September in the booth, though, when you and I have both removed our coats, and those were gone in the 1st quarter.
They were gone in the 1st quarter, and what we're watching now is a defense mentally giving in and sagging a little bit because they haven't been able to stop him.
They'll run on 1st down. Lindsey. The 20. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. 39 yards there, a big one.
Well, we're beyond the tone setting right now. This guy's been the bell cow all day, and they'll continue to rely on him to move the chains, drain the clock, and lead his team.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And he'll fight his way down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Mike. 319. Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
Now they'll throw with Rodgers. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. And, my friend, I think it's safe to say that this game is pretty much deceased at this point. It's taken a knee, so to speak.
It is definitely this victory formation. Take the snap, take the knee, call it a night, call it a game, call it whatever. I agree with you totally. I don't think there's much left to get except for those who want to run up the score.
I knew this was over about a minute ago when you took your stat sheet and just flipped it over your shoulder in the trash can.
Yeah, that's similar to the guys cutting tape off right before the game's over. We know this thing's done.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Wentz. At this point, down big, you'd have to imagine this defense are just going to sit back, blanket the field as best they can.
Yeah, this is actually the easy part of the game for them because, just as you noted, they can sit back, keep everything in front of them. But they've blanketed the field the entire game using a variety of coverages.
Wentz now to throw. Jeffrey with a catch left side. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now Wentz bringing it in. Jackson left side. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 13-yard gain yet again, just like last play.
First down, Eagles.
On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's 2nd down.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Wentz trying for the tight end. Ertz, and it's intercepted. Kentrell Bryce picks it. Trey! All smiles and high fives on that defensive sideline. That interception will cap off what was truly a tremendous performance.
Yeah, if you can hold a team to 7 points in the NFL, that's the kind of day that you feel really good about. Now, I do know a few guys are going to think to themselves, held them to 7. If we'd made one more play, could have had our shutout.
On 1st down, it's Lindsey. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. In on the stop there, Andrew Sendejo.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
Here we go.
And they'll take a knee as the clock runs under a minute to play.
That's 319. Number 53, Mike 53. Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen, watch the screen. Watch the screen.
And they take a knee. So it's all over. A Green Bay victory, and they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that